going, guys? Jake here, Dude Ranch DIY. It's another afternoon here in Southern Connecticut. Again, it's a little gloomy. Haven't had much sun the past couple days, but we're back here in the wood yard. As you can see, I just dropped the bucket and I put on the pallet forks. You're about to find out why. All right, so in this box here, I have, I think 6 brand new, I think they're 4 foot by 20 foot long tarps. And I didn't know how much firewood I would sell this year. Lo and behold, as you guys have seen, I'm pretty much out of my pallet rack over here that I had filled up. I sold it all, and I have quite a few of these IBC totes. I think I have about like 8 filled up over here in this area that I moved them to a couple videos back. We're supposed to get like 3 days of straight rain coming up. So I figured now would be, a good time to bust out these new tarps and try and situate those IBC totes so that I can get them covered up for the winter. None of that wood is going to be ready to burn really, at least maybe at the soonest, like March, April, towards the end of the winter. So my plan is to have it for next year. So I want to get them covered up so that they can start the drying process, because the temperatures aren't getting any warmer here in Connecticut, and seemed like a good idea. So here's my area where I've been storing the filled IBC totes. I just counted them, I misspoke before, there are 10 of them. And they're all full. Most of them I've been labeling just with a Sharpie here to know when I stacked them. That way I can know, roughly when I stacked them, so that I can know, when they should be, in theory, dry. Of course, anybody that does firewood knows it's hard to know exactly. You can use a moisture meter, but it's not always super accurate. But I think my best plan of attack here is going to be make 2 rows of 5, and then I should just be able to use 2 of those tarps to cover them. And I got some zip ties and my little wire snips on the tractor, and we can get them covered up. Well, as I'm sure you could tell, I had a little trouble picking up the tote that was over here, and that's because this one's actually interesting. It has, like, the bottom of it isn't like all the others that are metal. This one is plastic on the bottom, and I think the guy who I've been buying these things from sells them with the tanks and gets them from whoever his supplier is. And he actually just sells me just the cages without the tanks, and usually the ones that I get from him are slightly damaged. They either have like a couple bars that need like a little tack weld on them, or the bottom's beat up a little bit. But this one, and I didn't even know it would be an issue, is plastic.
And clearly somebody, you know, in its first life of being used for whatever it was intended use was with a forklift really damaged the bottom, and I'm missing like half of the bottom. So you can see over here that it's kind of cockeye and really beat up. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to handle this wood twice, and I think my easiest option would just be to have to transfer the wood that's in this tote into another tote. So as much as I don't want to do that because it's already neatly stacked in here, I think I'm gonna have to. Now, of course, nothing's easy. I would just grab one of these totes that is already cut and ready to go, but this one already has wood stacked in it, so it wouldn't make much sense for me to take the wood out of there. And this one is cut as well, but it wouldn't make sense for me to take it out of there. That one is not yet cut. It's not very full, but again, I don't want to have to handle that wood twice. It kind of defeats the purpose. So I think I'm gonna have to go grab another tote from my stash and cut it open, and then transfer the wood over. So stick with me.
Okay, so I got my new fresh tote. I'm gonna put in some ear protection, got my glasses, and we're gonna cut the little section out of this one. Bear with me. Wasn't really planning on having to do this, but I think it'll be better in the long run. Okay, good enough for my firewood. And by the way, guys, I've been saving all these things that I cut off. Can't really come up with anything that I can use them for, but as most of you guys know, everything serves a purpose, can be reused. So if you got any ideas of what I could use all these cut off IBC Tote cages for, let me know. I was thinking I could maybe put them together and make like a little kindling box or something, but then I was thinking the IBC Tote in and of itself is a kindling box. So if you got any ideas, stick it in the comment section below. Thanks. Well, all right, let's let the IBC Tote firewood transfer begin. All right, that's it. Transferred it over. In case anybody was wondering, this thing just held 244 pieces. Not much else to do but count when you're doing something as monotonous and pain as that. In the future, I am definitely going to not take any of these IBC totes, no matter how much I need them, with the plastic bottom on them there. It's just not worth it. I guess I could probably reuse this somehow, maybe, you know, bolt it to a pallet or something, but that was a pain. Nothing worse than having to handle firewood more than necessary. So at that, let's get it stacked up over here and finally get to tarping them up. right, guys, so here are the tarps. As you can see, I got them from Harpster Tarps. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I got them from Amazon or from their website directly, but I'll be sure to put a link in the video description if anybody's interested in these. I had already opened it up when they first came, but let's take a look. Oh, nice. So here we got them, Harpster Tarps, 4x20, brown. They come in all different colors, as you can see. So let's open this baby up. Now, my thinking getting a 4x20, I know it's kind of a weird size, but you know, 2 of my stacks of wood on the big pallet rack, I cut my wood generally to 18 inches in length. 2 rows would be 36 inches, so I could have about 2 inches of overhang on each side. Any of you guys that stack wood, and for those that don't, you should know that you don't really want your tarp or whatever you're covering it with to drape over the sides, because then it reduces the airflow and restricts airflow going in and out, and moisture can build up on the bottom of the tarp, and then it's just a continuous cycle. The moisture, you know, evaporates, condenses on top of the tarp, and then drops back down and just keeps your wood wet, and it you know, just is a breeding ground for insects and animals and fungus, mold, all that type of stuff. So that's why I went with the 4x20. These IBC totes are about 4 feet wide, depending on which angle or way you orient them. So I think these should work pretty well. Let's check it out. There's nice grommets all along it. I'm hoping I can just kind of pull it over the top. Yeah, wow, that looks almost perfect. The only thing I'm worried about here is that, you know, water might kind of pool underneath there, but that's something I can adjust at a later date. So I'm just going to take my zip ties and zip tie the tarp to the frames of the IBC totes, and we should be all set. It looks like 5, you know, rows of 5 or columns of 5 is the perfect number for the 20-foot long tarp. I have a little bit extra here. I got to pull down a little bit extra down on that side. Okay, so I got my zip ties. These are a little bit long for what I'm doing here. They're 11-inch, but I'm just going to loosely put them on because I don't want to pull it too tight and then lose all my slack on that side. So I'm gonna run down kind of loose. I think I'm gonna do, I think every other grommet would probably suffice. All right, well, I got that side done. Just got to throw one more on this corner right here, and this side will be all set. So as you can see, I got the corner, and then I went every other, oh, there's one of my dates. Stacked this one, October 2020. Every other grommet is pretty good. And then, you know, one on the end there. Now, one thing I didn't necessarily think about in this plan is that I didn't leave any walking room because I wanted to keep them nice and tight. So I couldn't really get access to this side, but no problem. It's nice to be young. Hop right up here and put this side on. Okay, got that on. I think I'm going to secure this back part first, and then kind of pull it down that way and get it centered, and then go side to side.
We're live.
What's up, guys? Sam just got home from the gym.
I did.
We got the first tarp on and secured with the zip ties. Works pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it. So Sam's gonna help me here with the second one.
Yeah, and just to sort of fill some conversational void right now, one of the things I really liked when I first walked up was Jake has taken a Sharpie and labeled each one of the totes with the date that it was filled, just to give us sort of an idea of, you know, how old the wood is.
Yeah, when the wood was stacked and how old it is, so that we know next year, like, oh, this is 7 months old, this one's 11 months old, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Pretty smart.
helps us with our inventory. Wow, so much easier with 2 people.
Yeah.
Now it should pull down to about the first rung.
Yep.
On that side. All right.
You got about the same?
Yep. Yep. Here, so
Yeah, give me a handful. Oh, just 2?
well,
You may as well give me a bunch and I'll fasten them all down.
just do them loose for now,
Yeah.
and then we'll get it tight. But I was doing every other grommet pretty much.
The second rung of metal down is what you're attaching them to?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, these tarps,
They're really thick, which is great.
they're good. It says somewhere on the thing how many mil they are, but they're pretty cheap too. I think for all 6 of these tarps, I think I paid like $60 or something, maybe 70. I think it was like $12 a tarp. So
Boy, I guess the hardware store in Wilton is just like, it's good old-fashioned highway robbery.
Yeah.
What they're charging for tarps.
I think it might be.
It's like an arm and a leg.
Okay.
If I can, should I sneak in and try to get one on?
Yeah, so what I did was, I think I might...
I don't know, man. I just went to the gym.
I shouldn't have done this side. That's what I shouldn't have done. And then I can fold it over, hop up on top so I don't step on the tarp. You know what I mean?
Yes. And poke a hole in it.
Yeah. So... Oh. Back up here.
So nimble. Hey!
Yeah, after I just said I didn't want to step on the tarp. The gym's paying off, guys.
Dang. Just like you watch on YouTube.
Just like you watch on YouTube.
Jake always says just like you read about, but Jake doesn't really read. So I've been telling him he's got to say just like you watch on YouTube.
Now, it's not that I can't read, it's that I'm not very fast reader.
He really can't read.
I can read. I can read.
Good. I can read good.
Okay, guys, so as you can see, we got them all zip tied up. This one tote right here is a little skewed, so just that little corner is gonna get a little wet, but like Sam had so astutely pointed out, I have a tractor, so I probably could push it and make it flush, you know, with the others. But I think it works pretty good. Like I mentioned before, I am curious to see how the water pools up on them. But I think for the most part, it should just, you know, kind of run off the sides where there's a little bit of slack, and maybe it'll just dribble down, you know, kind of on these edge pieces. But the majority of the wood is covered and dry, and this stuff is for next winter anyway, so it's got all next summer to, you know, dry as well.
Yeah.
So pretty easy, cheap way to cover up the wood, and it's clear we got a lot of it. People say that I think these things hold about a little over 1/3 of a cord, and we got 10 of them, so what, that's like a little over 3 cords.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Do I be in the end?
Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick?
Well, get to it.
I'm totally
See,
choking,
he
man.
doesn't
I don't
know how to do it.
No, I don't.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching and joining us here at the Dude Ranch. As always, if you like this kind of stuff, hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, and there's a little bell icon next to it. That'll let you know when we post new videos and stuff like that. And
if you have any comments,
put it in the comment
below.
section below. Yeah, we love criticism and
no, we
you
don't.
know,
What are you talking? We do not
well,
like.
not constructive criticism.
Please be nice.
And any comments. If any of you guys have any ideas what I could do with those little cutout pieces of the tote, as I mentioned before, I'd love to hear some ideas because I feel like it's a waste. You know, when I grind out, it's that little section.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a waste.
A barbecue grill.
Yeah,
Just kidding. No,
we have a couple of them.
we do.
All right, but that's it for this one, and we'll see you here next time at Dude Ranch DIY.
Dude Ranch! That's the only thing I'm good for.